All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Blair and Brandon back again for another episode, Throwin Sliders Podcast, episode 39, Adjustments to Your Adjustments, and we'll talk all about that. Dive into everything I-76 Speedway related. As many of you have seen, we have some breaking news to announce with a good partner of ours, so we'll get into that and do a little dirt dollars here tonight. So let's get right into it. All right, we're back. We made it back from where the hell were we? Fort Morgan, Colorado. Yeah. I forgot how far east that place is. And it's a lonely drive, 12 a.m. by yourself. I was noticing too it might have been just my truck with suspension's pretty rough. But hey, Danny, good to meet you out there. We'll get into everybody that we talked to, but just wanted to say the stretch of highway on 76 there beat the shit out of me coming home. Yep. And had a headwind, and I was getting about 9 miles a gallon. It was good stuff. But
we always go the back way, and we go the back way through Lyman. And anyway, for those, it's boring. But the road has changed with all the rain, and we got the shit rattled out of us for about 25 minutes. Yeah. So usually, but it's still like I-76. It's weird. It's just bouncy for 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, damn. And I think I replaced the rear shocks in my truck like a year ago. I was like, damn.
It don't matter.
Should have lessened the air pressure of my tires to like 30. Absorb some of that.
Got to untie the shocks a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of untying shocks, adjustments to your adjustments. So yeah, we're going to talk about everything I-76. I was fortunate enough to go help Blair and Tara and Tom. So it was really fun, and we'll dive right into that. But yeah, couldn't do any of this. We're obviously going to talk about one of the new partners we have, but give the credit to Racing Rowdy Ranch for being still the presenting partner. Thank you to the folks who stepped into Blair's trailer over the weekend, bought some hats, so we appreciate the support there. Do want to shout out Mr. Corey Mallow in the 270 class in the micro sprints. I believe, unless someone has one on their phone that they haven't shared on social, that was the first victory lane photo for Racing Rowdy Ranch. So greatly appreciate that, Corey, and great job. It was good to catch up with you. I haven't seen him in probably a year or so. And there's a little controversy. I'm not going to get into it. I don't know if you knew this, Blair, but essentially in that feature, I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth, but essentially I don't know the names if they're watching, but apparently there was some sort of hose that came off on the 270, and one of the pit crew members walked on the track to put the hose back on in the middle of the race.
Nice.
And anyway, Corey beat him anyway, but a little controversy. So but yeah, shout out to Corey. Appreciate the victory lane photo for Racing Rowdy Ranch. Got a couple hats left. Like I said last week, got a couple more patches on order, so we'll have those on the website ready for you guys to order hopefully in a couple weeks. So check that out. But we'll play the ad and get into another presenting partner. So here we go.
Racing Rowdy Ranch was created with one person, one adjective, and one place in mind: the blue-collar racer and crew behind the scenes. A word that can describe these racers and crews and how they live. Finally, a place where the straightaways and turns are these racers' pastures and hills, all bordered by concrete walls that could share more than their fair share of memories, even after several coats of paint. We are racing. We live rowdy, and we long to be at the ranch, riding for the brand. An apparel company designed to showcase just that, push the limits every day, and be proud of who we are. Visit RacingRowdyRanch.com now to order yours today. Saddle up, strap in, and live rowdy. Proud presenting partner of Scrubbin' Tires Media and the Throwin Sliders Podcast.
There you go. And shout out to Blaine Luan. He is officially now part of the Pit Lizard Posse crew. So congrats to him. Yeah. There's only 3 or 4 of us, so we'll try to grow that a little bit. But Racing Rider Ranch. Always good to take the merch to the track. I need to give more hats to Blair because obviously he's racing and I'm not. So we'll work on that. But yeah, thank you to Racing Rider Ranch. So the breaking news that you all saw, hopefully on our social pages. Mountain Ops has decided to come on board with us. So that's really big news. It's obviously as Blair and I continue to grow this, I guess I should say we grow this, the viewers, listeners, this is, a direct consequence of that. So we wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. So we appreciate that. And we're just going to continue to grow. So we'll talk a little bit about Mountain Ops here for a few minutes. I know Blair has kind of his take on some things, but it's really just supplements, right? It's whatever you're doing, right? I mean, like we played in the ad that we'll play here in just a few moments. But if you're an outdoor enthusiast, obviously we talked with Mountain Ops about this pretty at length and in depth, and kind of tailored it for the racing athletes and the sport itself. And obviously hydration, right, is a big topic. And we experienced that over the weekend at I-76. And, the hydration packets that Mountain Ops offers, obviously we were using them. So stuff like that. And then obviously if you're just kind of an outdoors person or working out, whatever you're doing, just trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, it's not all just, protein and gains and stuff like that. It's actual, supplements to help you live a healthier life, whether it's immune system support, whatever it is. So I know Blair kind of has his take on it and I'll pass to him, but super excited to have them on board. And as we mentioned, if you use the code TS podcast at checkout, if you go to their website, mountainops.com, but it's hyphenated mtnops.com, get 20% off by using the the Throwin Sliders podcast link or code, I should say. So make sure you do that. And it just helps us and continue to grow it. So Pastor Blair gave a little his thoughts on the Mountain Ops thing and play the ad.
Well, I mean, obviously, like weekends now that we're into the summer, just absolutely scorching during the day. What kind of Brandon brought this to me and kind of made the deal. But what made me excited is I've kind of told this story before, I think, but there was a day we were racing and it was so hot and I actually got so sick I had a hard time pulling a tear off. And there was another brand. And they said, throw this in your drink and try it, and it'll help you out. It's got potassium and some of the good stuff in it that'll help you get hydrated really quickly. And I went from laying on my trailer floor sick as a dog, about ready to, just pass out, to being back in the car and shit. We were running up front. And I thought, well, this is a lifesaver. And so he said, well, try this Mountain Ops. And so anyway, even better taste. And it was good stuff. I said, let's figure this out, get them on board. And so like this weekend, crushing that and drinks and water, and we mix it all in, but it's been pretty cool. So we're happy to have them on board. They got a bunch of products. Please check them out. We've been they got us some shakers and we got a bunch of products.
Yeah.
And everything else.
Product display tonight. We'll throw up a pinky here.
Yeah. It's so really cool to have them on board. We appreciate it. We always need help. And to keep this going. And Brandon, even like just doing this podcast after getting the car ready, we all got full-time jobs. Sure. It's just you got to stay healthy. And I haven't always been the best at that. I've been trying now that I'm getting a little older, and definitely some good stuff. So helping me out. So appreciate them. Yeah, use that TS podcast code on mountainops.com and tell them we sent you if you talk to them. So, or if you got any pictures, send them our way.
Sure. Yeah, we'd love to see some photos. And I will say, since Blair's been using the product, his skin is glowing. He's a brand new man. Yeah. But yeah, no, seriously, thanks to Mountain Ops. And obviously they have, visibility to all this stuff. So we appreciate them coming on board, and we'll just keep driving it. And if you, Blair and I should be able to, have some samples products at the racetrack or wherever you see us. If we do, some on-site shows, we'll definitely come loaded with some products if you guys want to try it out. But I feel like in the comments and stuff of that post that we made yesterday, there's already some avid Mountain Ops users. So it's cool to see. And it's a big brand. Some people may not have heard about it, but if you check them out, they're pretty big. So with that, we'll play the ad. Again, another supporting sponsor for us and a partner for us. And then we'll get right into I-76. So again, that's TS Podcast at checkout on mountainops.com for 20% off. Whether you're chasing checkered flags, chasing elk in the mountains, casting a line, or crushing early morning workouts in the gym, there's one name every high performer should know: Mountain Ops. This team fuels athletes, hunters, racers, and weekend warriors with the cleanest, hardest-hitting supplements on the market. Let's be honest, this sport isn't for the soft. Late nights in the garage, long drives to the track, and hot evenings in the pits and in the car. We are built different. That's why we run on Mountain Ops. Their supplements hit hard, feel clean, and don't have all that junk you can't pronounce. From early mornings to late nights on race day, this is the stuff that keeps the crew moving and ready for the next lap. Want in? Head to mtnops.com, enter code TS Podcast at checkout, and get 20% off your order. That's right, enter code TSPODCAST at checkout for 20% off your order. You don't just want to show up, you want to win. Fuel like you mean it. Winners use Mountain Ops. Proud supporting partner of the Throwin Sliders podcast. Damn, I feel like I want to go work out real quick.
I know. I'm going to run through a wall. You know what? You have a beautiful voice for the radio or pods. I mean, your face is fine too, but I can.
No, I have a face for radio, is what I've been told, not a voice. But no, it's fun. I mean, obviously we're small, and obviously Bryce Holcomb helps us out with some of the videos, but just threw that together. So, but yeah, can't say enough about that, and you're going to hear us drive on that for the rest of the year. So, mountainops.com. TS Podcast, 20% off. So anyway, let's get right into it. Blair, I'll let you lead off. It was kind of your show. We were just kind of the circus in the pits.
Well, I mean, for if you're in this region, we weren't quite sure what we were going to get, car counts, anything like that. I-76 hasn't had sprint cars for probably 4 years, something like that. I know they tried the wingless there once. Car counts were just down. But anyway, that place we've heard all night. That was the biggest show they've had in probably at least 5 years. Cars were parked down the sides of the roads.
Grandstands were packed.
Standing up, absolutely packed. Everywhere you went, pits were packed. So short track racing still alive and well. I mean, that's a quarter mile high bank bull ring. At the beginning of the day, we were a little bit worried. The temps were up so high. They had a ton of classes, which that's the only thing we're going to dog on is cut a couple classes when you have a big show, especially on fan appreciation night. But it started out to where in the pits, drivers were even nervous about going out there. It was absolutely so dusty. You couldn't see the car in front of you. It was a tornado out there. So I will give them credit, though. By the time we rolled out for the main, that thing was like glass, and it was pretty well stuck. I mean, the dirt was so wet and dark that it was a little bit hard to see there for a couple. I started ripping tear-offs when I knew it was good and rolled in. So they did a great rework on it, got us going. And at least, for all things considered, they put on a really good show, I thought. And it seemed to hold up decent. It did slick off again for some of the later classes, but they were, good racing all the way around. And sometimes those short tracks, you may not have the 24 car show with 30,000 people in the stands like in Knoxville, but you can get your money's worth. Oh yeah. At a place like that. So hopefully if you are out there and you're thinking, if you see it on the schedule again next year, I think they're done this season, but I'm sure they'll be glad to have us back. Wing sprint cars, the 360 stuff. And so if you do see it on the schedule next year, let's keep it going, because that place has been around, I heard 50 years and under the same ownership for 37 or 38 years. So pretty cool. And it's not too far, in the region. If you're a Kansas guy, Nebraska, it's one of those. So maybe even put a 2-day show together if we support them. Yeah. It really is fun because me, I'm kind of ambivalent about some of the short tracks, where it's like you're not cranking, but you can get around there really good. It's like a little Lernerville. Yeah, exactly. Especially with the backstretch. Yeah. I almost went off it. I got all the way up there, and I tried to cross over, but it was sticky enough I could pull her back down. Yeah. Once. I almost did it once. Yeah, it was back to Blair's point about the dust and hot laps. Tara's father and I were standing basically entrance of turn 3. And it was just, we basically had to walk away. Like, we got glasses on and everything, but it was so bad that like you couldn't talk, you couldn't anything. So I'm texting Tara like, holy shit, like this is not good. And, obviously all the drivers that were pitted next to Blair, Johnny Booz and Ryan Rader, Trimble, everybody were like, this is kind of on the brink of like dangerous. Like we don't feel comfortable. So yeah, shout out to Butch and crew for, understanding the situation, getting feedback, and,
obviously it was a later night than I think anybody anticipated.
Mhm.
I don't even know when we went out for the main, close to
I think it
9
was like
o'clock.
10
And
or it was somewhere in there. I don't know. It
yeah,
was late, but
yeah.
yeah, that's why
But
they
I
put it
mean,
so early.
it was worth it, right? They did a phenomenal job,
Mhm.
like Blair said, to get it where it was, not just for the sprint cars, but every class. Because I mean, even the damn 270s, as I mentioned earlier, were throwing dust. And I was like, oh shit, like these things
Mhm.
aren't even, have big tires and stuff. But yeah, phenomenal job, and yeah, it was a great show. Kind of before we dive into the sprint car stuff and all the things that we were doing in the 32 pit, did want to shout out the sport mods and the A mods. Hell of a show they put on, and obviously Keaton
Mhm.
Shore pitted next to us, and we were kind of cheering him on. I think you said it was his second time out there, and in his heat race, man, started in the back and was just picking them off lap after lap, and then just all around, like Blair said, I think whatever the price of admission was, you definitely got that and then some, from all the classes, right? I mean, they were just excellent racing all around, which is good to see. But
Mhm.
sorry, I got to click back on the comments. But yeah, let's get into kind of the technical side of. I learned a lot first and foremost about sprint cars. Blair's kind of teaching me and stuff like that when I get out there. But so with the conditions that we had that we mentioned, that was just absolute dust bowl. Obviously, we anticipated one thing, right? That okay, it's going to
Mhm.
be X. And then, as Tara mentioned, I think in one of her posts about it, she was literally, was trying to make sure the GoPro was on, and Tara's over there adjusting shocks, adjusting air pressure, like as Blair's, getting pushed off. Like that's how crazy it was. We were just kind of watching the track the entire night to make sure Blair, had the best setup, to go out there. But dive into that a little bit, Blair. I'm rambling, but dive
No,
into
no.
kind of what your thoughts were, and what kind of was going through your head. Because literally, I feel like the amount of adjustments you came to the track prepared and the car prepped,
Mhm.
right? And then from heat races, or excuse me, hot laps to heat races to main, I can't even tell you, Tara made how many adjustments on tires, et cetera, et cetera. So kind of walk us through that.
Mhm. Well, it was kind of a struggle because I really didn't want to. I mean, obviously, we didn't know. I mean, we have the purse, set basically. So on a night like that, a local show, it is a point show, but we generally, I had some decent tires left over, and they told us, we didn't know what the main was going to be. So it ended up only being a 20-lap feature because it got a little late, which
15
was
on
fine.
my race pass.
Yeah, so that freaked us out a little bit, but it ended up
Yeah.
being a 20-lap main. So we were taking, we had our old stuff on the car, and we were just trying to get the stagger down, and I've started to collect a bunch of different sizes of left rears and stuff, but everything we had mounted up. So we were chasing that. So when I went out early in hot laps, the car was okay. We couldn't even get on it because you couldn't see. So I
Right.
just started listening for other guys. So I thought, well, that didn't tell us much, but you got to go one direction, and that's tight. I mean, I said, let's throw everything. If it's going to be with the sun still on it by heat races, let's tighten it up a ton. We did that. But then Johnny Booze, I mean, he sailed right by me. So we obviously could have went even tighter. It was like, yeah, I didn't want to do that because I thought it might actually take rubber that early. So we cranked her down, took stagger out of it, tucked the right rear in. We could have went a lot further. So I thought for the main, well, it can't be too much worse than that, but 20 laps on it, it's going to go away again. So we cranked it down again. Well, we didn't have the right tires for the stagger. We were trying to get way down on stagger, and we ended up throwing 2 brand new tires on the rear. And then we rolled up to staging, and it was like we had the car about as tight as I could possibly get it. And I thought, well, this is either going to, and we tried some new stuff, to make sure that the car turned in. That's what's been a struggle for me, is I'll tighten it up and then it won't turn. And I got the brakes on fire trying to get it lit and just full throttle trying to get her to turn. So did some new adjustments there. But when we rolled up to staging, they said this thing's been reworked and it looks, like a golf course, basically.
Nice.
And I went, oh shit, you had told Tara, and Tara came over to me and she said, this thing looks like it's going to be fast. I said, well, let's start tying the shocks back down in the front a little bit. Let's bump the air pressure up in the right rear, get some stagger back in it, do what we could, with a minute left to go.
Literally.
Yeah. And in hindsight, when I started off the race, if this would have been a 25-lap feature, I felt like we really would have had something for him because obviously finishing third, I watched Brian Gossel and Adam Trimble. They were walking away a little bit from me early. And on that last restart, I'd started to catch Johnny. He finally his car actually got loose because he was good early. And he spun in front of me, but I felt like I was going to get him. And that was his first night in the car with the 360.
Phenomenal job.
Shout out to them. They did. Yeah. They all night. They were really
Fast
good.
as
So I
shit.
knew he would be. Yeah. Yeah. So I was catching him, felt like I had something for him. But then with the last 5 laps, the car really started coming to me when that moisture started going away. And I thought, man, I didn't know if I got to Trimble, if I would have anything for him. It kind of went one lane up there. But hell, we would have at least given it a try. But yeah, so it tied down the front shocks a little more, would have had a little bit better getting in. Because there was a couple times you saw on that Brandon's GoPro, you could see that left front's kind of dangling up there. Had him easy up a little bit, but yeah, a lot of fun, man. Just racy little place, it's funny. So 8,400 RPM, just right to the rim.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, I guess, we always say the races are won in the garage, right? Your setup and your maintenance and stuff like that. But it is fun to make really wholesale adjustments other than, swapping motors, rear ends, etc. But I think it was fun to see our changes come to life. Like get a little bit better and so forth. But talk about fuel, Blair. What happened there?
Well, Brandon had the brilliant idea to put a shitload of fuel in it. And I said, no, that's too much. And I said, okay, we'll put an extra 1.5 gallons in it just to be safe. Well, they were a little bit short, must have been short on tow trucks or something. They had a problem getting one car out of there. I think he had either a C's rear end or front end was broke or something. So I tried to get him off on the tow truck because Gary Land and Cole got together early, like lap 1. Yeah, lap 1. So they were still taking him back to the pits, and the tow truck was either not there. They only had one. I don't know what was going on in the car, but I thought, we got plenty of fuel. And by the time the second caution happened, I think we went around probably 15 times.
At least it was crazy.
So yeah, we didn't get the red because it wasn't a crash. Guy just had parts.
I don't even know. Like, now that you say his rear end, but I feel like he did get towed off, like by the front.
With the ass up.
No, like normal, and it was still rolling. So I'm not sure what the deal was. And I didn't even see him come to rest in turn 1. But yeah, whatever it was, they should have threw the red. But Gary Land. Taro's a tire machine and shock machine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, after that, so it turns out I was wrong, and we talked to Brian after, and they had about 6 gallons more fuel in it than we did. I think we were right at 14.5, and I thought that'll be absolutely plenty. We're not even going to burn, but if we burn 0.5 gallon a lap here, that's doing a lot on a quarter mile. Yeah,
we weren't even doing math, which is scary. We're like, it's like 0.7 gallon per lap.
Yeah, on Sweetwater's like 0.7. Here should be about, you can just figure a 0.5 gallon lap, and then we try to always have, maybe 1.5 gallons to 2 in reserve so that your pickup, when the motor when the car's sideways, that pickup's down in the bottom of the tank, but you're obviously moving fuel up against the wall with all that G-force. So we try to make sure we have extra, and literally with coming to the white flag, the car was popping and sputtering and banging, and I thought, holy shit, I'm going to run out before we see the checker, because turn 3, that thing just literally cut out for probably a third of a second. It felt like a light in the car. It's like, could feel it for a lifetime, but it's probably just literally tens. So that scared the hell out of me, but we ended up coming back across third, and I think Trimble said they were running out too. So we weren't far off on our math. I think just the way things worked out, we got lucky. Should have listened to Brandon on that one, but it was a good thing not to have the rear weight there, because the car was already so tight. But it was 6 to 1.5 dozen. Next time maybe we'll do another gallon.
Yeah,
if we go there again. But
whatever you say,
tow trucks. If they got 2 tow trucks, we're fine. If they got 1, we better add another couple gallons.
We'll ask ChatGPT how many cautions they're about to have and see what it says.
Predictive analytics.
Right, there we go. Yeah, when we start doing that, it was fun to have that conversation though. But yeah, like Danny said, shout out to the I-76 crew, and shout out to Danny. Yeah, he was pushing Blair all night, and others.
With my shirt on, love to see that.
Yeah, got to meet his son. That was cool. Yeah. Ryan Rader's saying Casey tie rod broke. That must have been on the double zero.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Nope, you're good. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Right front. I saw him working on a bunch of stuff because he was nosed into the wall. He didn't hit it. It didn't look like, but.
I guess you're right, because he was spun like that. Yeah.
That's why they were having all kinds, and the banking there is tricky with that track being, but they got it figured out, and shit, we got lucky again. I've run the car out of fuel 3 times now. I always cut it close, but shit, that's a little too close for comfort. Because for a while when I was new, it was like we'd finish the race and I'd have 5 gallons extra. I'm like, oh, that's not good. There's 60 or 40 pounds, 8 pounds a gallon, 40 pounds up high, sloshing around like that. You want to cut it close. You just don't want to run out.
Yeah, I think you put the tube in there, and you had maybe one left. It was I don't even think there was any in there.
It didn't hit the bubble. I mean, it didn't even come past the red part on my. So it's literally I don't even have to drain it.
Perfect. There you go.
The fuel filter was half full, so that means it was literally not pushing anything behind it.
Dang.
So
got lucky.
Oh, Dan, your comments are all going to get on the show tonight. There we go.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yeah, I am. I'm amazing.
Yeah, you are.
Just
absolutely. And like all bullshit aside, that was phenomenal driving, not just by you, but all the sprint car drivers. Obviously, you had a couple. Tom and I got to witness one go off the banking and almost hit the outside wall, which was scary. But yeah, you guys raced each other clean. Obviously, the little mishap with Gary Land there, just unfortunate, and glad he spun around and was facing everybody, and I just was holding my breath like, oh God. Yeah. But yeah, other than Johnny Booze just getting a little squirrely there at the end, it was really clean driving by all you guys. And in the mods, like I said, shout out to them. I mean, just throwing it in there in the corner and giving each other room, anticipating someone was just going to dive bomb them. And I didn't see anything egregious in the mods or anything like that, but it just phenomenal racing. And that's what you like to see, right? You know, there's all this stuff online, you know, a lot on the asphalt side, like all these young kids are learning what not to do because they see it on Saturdays or Sundays or whatever. And it was a complete opposite this weekend. So very cool to see clean racing by everybody.
Yep. It is different, huh? Now that you've been around like the full size dirt stuff, it's just a totally different style where guys, you know, you can throw bombs and that's when you really could tear somebody up as if you miss or, and I bent Johnny's bumper. I thought he was bullshitting me, but on the start, I was like, I'm going to tuck in tight and see if we can go here because you don't want to get beat on the starts there.
Yeah.
I go, you're full of shit. And he sent me a picture of his rear bumper. So sorry, Johnny, I smashed it pretty good. I was like, it's funny when you hit somebody, it doesn't feel like that big a deal, but when they hit you, you're like, you son of a bitch, you just pounded me. So it's a lot different in the back of the, you know, when you hit in the back when you're doing the hitting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I sent him a picture of my front bumper.
Yeah, it was clean, your front bumper, but yeah, Gary, I would have shit my pants too if I were in your seat. That was I was right there with the phone going. I was like, oh God, like, but I don't even know who it was, but I mean, barely just at the split second turn right and avoided him. I don't know who it was, but holy smokes, that was close. Speaking of crashes, thank God Mr. Austin Gossel is okay. That was obviously his dad. Hats off to Brian for winning that race. He was on rails all night at I-76, but Austin. Wow.
They're in Arkansas.
Yeah. If you guys have seen that video, both drivers really lucky to come away. Have you heard if the other driver's okay? Obviously,
they said both were okay. I haven't. Okay. I meant to call Austin today. Obviously, if you've listened to the show, he's been on. He's running full-time national tour with the ASCS, and he was out front having a really good night. He's been really fast lately.
His dad said he won everything up until that point too, everything. Yeah. So
heat race, fast dash, qualifying. He was just up front, so he was on a killer night. And go watch. It's on American Sprint Car Series page. It'll be right up at the top because it's getting a ton of views. But man, that car I think we heard was pulling off the track, and black car, dark track. Bam! He hit him so hard. Transfer that much energy.
Yeah, the exit of the track, turn one. Like, I guess I get it, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. I guess if it's in a corner, whether it's 3, 4, 1, or 2. But yeah, if you guys get the chance to watch that video, very, very scary. I mean, Austin's car came almost off all 4 wheels off the ground.
It might have.
Yeah, it might have.
That other kid just transferring that energy and him start rolling. It's like, man, TV never does shit justice as far as what that was like in person. But when it's gnarly on TV,
that was one of those where you like immediately start thinking about the safety of the drivers after you see it. It was crazy, but yeah, glad everybody's okay. But
we could see if he's around. If somebody's in the comments, could you tag Austin and have him give us his take of what it was? We'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he's probably
we'll just throw in a friend real quick. I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure, especially that other guy in that black car. I mean, just the initial G-forces throwing your neck forward. Wow. But yeah, if Austin's listening and watching, get his take on it. But yeah, glad everybody's okay there. But what else? I-76 related. It was cool to catch up with a lot of former alumni on the Throwin Sliders podcast. Obviously, Blaine Ryan Rader at the swap show, Johnny Booze, Trimble. I didn't really get to talk to him too much. Who else was there? Corey Mallow, obviously, as we mentioned. A lot of people coming up and talking with us and hanging out.
Well, we had Brian.
Brian,
we did.
We did.
Yeah. I knew we did. I was like, oh man, my
Brian.
brain.
I mean, we had a lot.
It wasn't even that long ago.
I know.
I just had to think if it was me talking to him or
right. So. No, he was on the show. But it was cool to kind of relive some of the old episodes. Like, we were talking to Danny and his son and I were talking about. I don't know where you were, but we were talking about the history of Lakeside and kind of what we talked about with Joe Starr. Yeah, Joe Starr, years ago on the podcast, like kind of just talking about that. And it does, to your point, it does run in circles. Like who was talking about that on podcast? Like it all kind of runs together. But good stuff to catch up with people and talk about everything. So we appreciate you guys. Obviously, Blair gets it more than I do, being able to go to the track more and stuff. But we appreciate you guys coming over and chatting with us. And but I-76 was a great time. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And like Blair said, hopefully they put the wing sprint cars back on the schedule yearly or annually, because I think that once they get the track right, that's a hell of a show for you guys, and you guys put on a great show. So
we just need a full-time commitment out of you to be crew. Just bring on out. I'm gonna have to pay the wife off or something to get you out there, because even that on a hot day like that, it's just nice to have help, and obviously you pick it up quick. So
I didn't, other than telling you to put an extra gallon of gas, I didn't do much. But
even just lifting tires up there is just like, this helps. And we broke down some. So Brandon got the full rundown. He was.
We were doing everything.
Raider brought me tires, so because I didn't make it to Denver to pick them up, and shit, here we go, Brandon. We roll in. He says, "What do we do?" And I said, "We are starting to bolt on new tires in case we need them." And sure as shit, it's a good thing we did it and had Tara size them, because we ended up using it.
Well, then we blew up the wrong one. Whoops.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was going to be so slick, or we were going to need so little stagger that it's so weird. Who's your chalk marks? It's all bullshit. I watch. Sometimes I nail them that 4 inches off the chalk mark. For those of you that don't know, Hoosier, when on the sprint car tires, like a right rear, if you set it, it's got a chalk mark. And a lot of times on the right rears, if you set them, the correct way to do it is you tighten down your bead locks, and then you blow them up to 25 pounds and let them sit for 20 minutes. And then you're going to get a true sizing out of them. Well, shit, nothing we had was even close that night, of course, So, we got to do a lot of mounting and dismounting, because I'm still got 2 rims that are bent. I got to get inner halves for, and it's just like how much money you want to spend already in this season,
Yeah. Well, it was cool. I got a thought about the tires before I get into this, but literally, as Blair was mentioning, after the heat race, because there was a long, we'll call it intermission, right, to get the track prep and the fan appreciation, fireworks, etc. And we had got the car where we thought we were going to run with it, and then basically, I don't know, 30 minutes before you rolled out, Blair's like, I think we should change something. And so literally, we're talking about spacing the tires out. Obviously, we had to put on a new left rear because that thing was gone.
Trash.
And then I was like, well, we can do, this. And Blair's like, fuck it, I want to win. And I was like, all right, well, that's your decision to put on new rubber, but let's do it. But that was cool.
What was cool too is good. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, back to the missing our marks on the tires, I guess, not having the correct numbers. The scene in The Hangover where Alan's in the casino, just high as hell, and all those numbers are floating around. I feel like that's what Tara was in the trailer, just like.
Yeah, I kept changing it on her. We were I'm starting to get a little, on her ass, because when we're at the track, I mean, obviously I don't yell at my wife, but I got, it's like, Tara, come on now. And she's like, you've changed so much shit. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm the idiot. You keep doing what you're doing. And she saved my ass a couple times. So between you and her, and then obviously Tom just keeps the whole show rolling. He's always on getting stuff organized. And when you're not there, he does all those duties too. So we are a ragtag crew of misfits, but it's funny to see her set and doing stagger tapes on the car in her pink skirt,
I know. Shout out to Lululemon. That shit's no joke, man. I need to start wearing Lulu yoga pants to the track. Those are good stuff.
We were filthy too. It looked like we went through a dust bowl.
Man, I was telling Blair the tub of towels that we used on our face was like going to the spa after just getting blasted. But enjoyed it, and I'll be at the next one in August with you. So, and looking
well,
forward to that.
Trying to still decide. I don't know if we're going to South Dakota or not. I'm absolutely worn out, but
I bet
it'll be South Dakota Gillette, and we're going to try. I asked, I think Trimble's crew's going up there, and that's supposed to be a big show. So if you're up there, we're going to try.
Well, the next local one, how about that? I'll be at the next.
Yeah, no,
one.
you'll be. Yeah, we'll go Kansas and Colorado.
Yeah. Tara says there was a skort. What the hell is a skort?
Yeah.
That's a new one for me.
It's a skirt with shorts underneath, so that way her cheeks are flapping in the breeze when the wind blows.
Oh man, yeah, we don't know. Yeah, no comment.
Yeah, we would have. We'd probably sell a lot more shirts.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's sell some hats. Let's sell some everything. Oh man. Now we got people commenting. I'm gonna leave that one there. Oh, okay. You're gonna pull up. Okay.
That's Johnny's mom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh, no.
There you go.
Yep. We missed you. She's been nervous about the 360. I don't know if that's why she wasn't there. She's like, I'm not going to Fort Morgan, but
well, you missed your son put on a hell of a show. He was a rocket.
Yeah, it's pissing me off. I was like, I'm going to catch him. Not really. No. Even my wife
not
in the
heat
video.
Race.
Yeah, in the heat race, I heard once he got by me, then she starts rooting for Johnny because she's like, well, Blair ain't doing shit. I'll just root for Johnny. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But no.
Well, you could hear because we were in basically 3/4 of the way through 3 and then beginning of 4. She was in the stands. When Johnny spun out, and all of us, Tom, Tara, and I were just like, oh no, like not like we want to see anybody crash or spin out. I was like, damn it, Johnny. So anyway,
yeah, that was fun. Him and I, well, that's what a lot of people, if they don't know, him and I, they'd helped me out a bunch in the lightning sprints. I had so many people help me out, but then we started battling really hard. And I mean, man, we put on some shows there at the end, right before I jumped out of lightning sprints. And then they went to the 305. They have both now, not being the first night at 360. It's like everybody asked me how I thought he was going to go. I'm like, he'll be fine. He's a race car driver.
I heard you say it too. Yeah. He was fine. He looked like he'd
been doing it. Went by me and I was like, well, he's going to be just fine, and
he was moving in the heat race and the feature, right? Obviously had some misfortune, but he was on rails. So yeah, shout out Johnny. Clyde, see your comment in there. Pleasure to meet you in person. Very cool story that he shared with me about what he's kind of doing with his race team, and hopefully we can get him on at some point and he can share that. I don't want to spoil it for him, but just cool stuff, talking to people, obviously, like I said, talking with Danny, just the people you meet and find and talk about, back in the 50s, right? Racing and kind of what their stories, just pretty cool in between setting up the car and stuff like that. So shout out Clyde Cooper. Who else did we we talked about Keaton.
I ran into everybody. That's one thing when you race local or in the state, it's like, man, we've just accrued a big family. You start to know everybody. It's like I didn't get to talk to Cole McEwen, but it's like that's one thing when we're, if you are like a Johnny or something, your guys are doing the work and he comes and hangs out with us, which I love. But it's like,
I made a joke. I made a joke because Johnny was, in your pits the majority of the night, it felt like. And I don't know if it was his dad or what, but every 5 minutes, Johnny, get away. He'd go running over there.
He's been doing that shit since quarter midgets, those kids. I'm like, hey, that's like even with Austin Goss. So I'm like, hey, I forgot. I actually got to do something here.
Right.
I give them hell. So, but no, they got a good crew. All those guys are cool. So we just need more guys to jump up and get a sprint car now.
Yeah.
It is growing. You can even see it regionally. It's
go out there and buy a sprint car, all you jokers.
Just do it. It's worth it. Ryan Rader, sell your snowmobile and get a 360. He's got all these toys. I'm like, dude, sell your toys.
Hell of a nice trailer too. I was like, damn, that was impressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's got
nice
the cool.
Shit.
He's got the nice fire extinguisher on the 4-wheeler, just in case anybody's around him and in need of emergency. We talked about that. So, hell of a race by all classes that we were able to watch, and excellent track prep, or I guess track saving by the crew.
Yeah.
After what they saw, and so hopefully that's on the schedule for years to come. What are we talking about next? High Limit. They are at Lucas Oil on Thursday, the 26th. Don't have the odds out yet for Blair and I to do dirt dollars, so we're just going to take a shot in the dark. Maybe Tara will pick someone else other than Spencer Basin. Although, fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Spencer Baston took second there last year when they ran there to Mr. Brad Sweet. So we'll see what Tara has to say about her pick. Danny, Brandon, sprint car time. Listen, buddy. That's
what I've been saying.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. That's a whole other show. We need it. I'm just gonna stop. Anyway, back to dirt dollars. So yeah, Lucas Oil for the dirt guys, high limit. If you recall last year, I think they had it on the docket for summer, and then it got rained out. Surprise, surprise. Oh, Tara's already got her pick in Spencer Baston. And then it got pushed to October, which I think was right around their championship night or weekend, I should say. But yeah, Big Cat won it. So Blair's thinking of his pick. I honestly don't have a pick yet, but we're going to play the intro to Dirt Dollars, and I'm going to come up with a pick. So here we go.
We have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Spencer Baston. I think I picked first last time. You go ahead, Blair.
I'm actually going to go with Brad Sweet. I think that sounds like a track that he would do really well at. So it's either going to be him or Rico, but I think I'm going to go with Brad.
Okay. I was freaking way off. I think the last time we actually picked, I was in Virginia. Yeah, and I picked Larson.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't.
Buddy Kofoid was on a tear that night. He's been doing even the Outlaws. He won again.
Yeah, and Kyle Larson just won at where was that? When he went to the World of Outlaws, whatever track that was.
I can't think right now, but
yeah. And they've been off for a week or so, week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta sometimes go with who's hot, and I will appreciate the high limit because
that's what Tara does.
What
goes with who's hot?
Oh, there you go. Well, why'd she marry you then?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why she don't pick me to win either.
Oh, all right. There you go. But no, I was gonna say I appreciate high limit because when they first started, Larson went on Husitz. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, when they first kind of put together high limit, Spencer Basin, Kyle Larson won like the first 4 races out of the gate. I'm like, holy cow! But now it's like you have no idea really. So anyway, back to my pick. Brad's kind of been on a cool stretch. Like he's not doing bad, but he's not like his normal self of, top 2 every race. So I don't know. I think I'm going to go Rico. He's just been on a tear. Your boy, what's his name? No, the other one. Reitzel. I think he's started to heat it up a little bit too, but I can't pull the trigger just yet on him. So I'm going to go Rico. I wish we could kind of play around with it. NXT or Flow Racing don't have this yet since it's the first year of kind of betting, gambling on high limit. I want to start seeing like the who will finish ahead of who type thing, or, Rico Abreu to finish top 2, give me like, crazy odds or whatever. But until we get to that point, but yeah, we can start playing around with that. But yeah, we got Spencer Baston locked in. If he wins a race, we're going to message him and be like, look, Tara has picked you every single week and you finally did it. So get your ass on the show is how that's going to go. That's how I'm going to word it, whether or not he responds or not. But anyway, so we got Big Cat, Spencer Baston, and Rico. Pretty good picks. I don't know the entry list yet. I don't think they've announced that. So yeah, tune in Flow Racing if you have an account. I think Blair said up until qualifying, it's free on YouTube. Is that right? Or do they show
sometimes? Not every race, but a lot of times I'll watch up through qualifying, and even every once in a while they'll show a heat race. But most of the time they get hot laps qualifying, so we'll sit there and watch it for an hour at night before we go to bed, or if it's live. So I do like that. I wish they showed the whole thing on YouTube too.
Hey, they got to pay the bills, buddy.
Caps the next day. Yeah, but they're getting, I honestly think that's another venue, and I know the Flow thing, we won't get into all that, but I mean, they're putting up, like Chase Rodman told us, about them, the numbers they're putting up. I bet you YouTube pays pretty well too. And if it's accessible to people, more people, because if you're just a casual race fan, that's my only dog is that you're not going to subscribe to Flow or Dirt Vision or all these streaming apps. So it's like, they really need to recap full races on YouTube too. The next day, and they do a pretty good job of that, or a couple days after.
I will say, Yeah, and like you said, and their social media, like if you didn't catch the race, you can basically get caught up in a minute if you go to their social media page and watch the day after. And sometimes they put it on that night, depending on how late it is. But yeah, all around good job. But yeah, I think I will say I bought the Dirt Vision or subscribed to the Dirt Vision deal last year for Knoxville, and I think I've maybe went on there twice. Just
well, because you showed my race on there when we were at Lincoln last year.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I think that's the second time I've actually watched it. It was just Knoxville and the horrendous race that was with Kyle Larson just walking the dog out there. And, but yeah, I think Flow, because Dirt Vision is more tailored, just obviously it's in the name. But Flow is like, obviously there's Flow Racing, but Flow Sports is like Chase said, you can get on there and watch literally anything you want. And for the asphalt and dirt fans, like we could turn it on right now and they're probably racing some crazy ass go-kart in Alaska or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that is cool.
Yeah. But yeah, if you got a subscription, Blair and I will see what happens next, or I guess on Thursday, and talk about it on Monday. Yeah, good stuff. I don't have where we race, or where is Colorado racing at this weekend. I was unprepared.
You know what? They had a doubleheader at El Paso County too.
Last weekend.
Yeah, so that's the only thing but man, car counts were just up everywhere, it seems like. I didn't get the full tally on El Paso County, but sounds like it was big shows too.
Let's see.
Phillips, local stuff this week.
Yeah, so Phillips is racing, Phillips County racing this weekend. They got IMCA Tour. There we go. Modified stock cars, sport mods, hobby stocks, compact, junior compacts, Rocky Mountain Dwarfs, and Warriors. You're in that neck of the woods. Definitely go check that out. Cortez ran a couple weeks ago. Let's see. When is El Paso's next one?
I think Moscow was having their first race.
Yeah, that was 2 weekends ago.
BJ says 84 cars total. That was in Calhan.
Wow.
So that's a good show too, because I'm guessing we had over 100 cars in the pits.
Easily.
Fort Morgan, easily, probably 100 and some.
Yeah.
So 84 cars. That's not bad.
Yeah.
We consolidate those classes, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me started.
We won't get into it tonight, but that's good to see either way. I mean, economics are, it is harder with sponsors this year. I've talked about that a lot. It's been tough for me. We've had some guys have to back it down or back off this year, and it's like, hey man, I get it. But anyway, we're always looking. So we're going to be changing the wrap on the car and next year probably. And so we're going to be looking for some partners. So if anybody knows anybody out there who wants to put their name on the sprint car, we need some help, because you saw that tire bill. Raider dropped off tires in my trailer. It's like 6 tires, $2,000.
So where's Danny's comment? That's why I don't race a sprint car right there, because I can afford it, but I don't want to afford it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it literally is like a second job. That's what we talked about that. I mean, it may not be, I don't do it for a living, but we do try to treat it like a professional operation.
Yeah. Well, I think that's
that comes down to budgeting and everything else. I mean, it is tight. I've even had to cut out my Starbucks 90% of the time, and geez, it makes me sad.
Well, now we got some Mountain Ops, so you don't need all that sugary junk. You're good.
Yeah, that's it. No, I agree.
Get hyped up on. I will say, I think it's Endurance. It's behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Enduro. Sorry, Enduro. It doesn't have caffeine in it, and it's like they call it like a cardio supplement. But I use that during the day, and man, that it just keeps you. It's not like jittery or anything like we were talking about at the track with some of these other supplements, but it's not pre-workout, but it's just I don't even know how to describe it because it doesn't have caffeine, but it's like a mental sharpness thing, and it's very good. I would.
Well, you need it.
I do. I need all the things I can to get through the day and stay sharp and not make a buffoon out of myself. But anyway, El Paso County, next one is going to be July 12th, Nutrient Open Wheel Fair Race. Oh, it's fair. All right, there you go. Rocky Mountain Midgets, Lightning Sprints, 600s, Dwarf Junior Compacts. And then I think Lincoln's way out there, if I'm not mistaken. It'd be that. Let's see. July 4th. So holy smokes, that's a big one. Sandhills Shootout Summer Nationals, sprint cars, URSS sprint cars, midgets.
Yeah,
lightning springs.
305s.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
lot.
wish we
Holy-
were on that show.
Speaking of classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 classes. 11
Uh-huh.
classes. Mini
Oh,
mods.
that's plenty.
Can't forget them. Yeah.
Shit, I think that's all the classes there are. Danny talked about they had put super modifieds on dirt once. They had to lift the chassis up, freaking throw dirt tires on them. It's like they're not made for that. He said the same. I was like, I never even knew they tried that. I could just imagine what that was like, just chattering teeth.
Yeah, we're just missing the monster trucks that when then we'll have everything.
Yeah, let's get some flat track motorcycle and
good stuff. Yeah, that's kind of on deck. So if you're in the Holyoke area, Phillips County,
that's a fun track. That's a big joint. If you haven't been there, it's fast.
Get a hot dog or two. And Ryan Rader got to see a hot dog. Me and Blair on the 4-wheeler this weekend, free of charge for your entertainment. Someone should have took a picture of that.
Yeah. Gary got on the 4-wheeler and rode side saddle, and I was a little disappointed. I told him, no, you get on here, big boy.
Yeah, Ryan wants to see another hot dog. I don't think you saw it, but when we fired you up for engine heat, Tara parked to the right of you, and I was like in the back trying to give it more traction, so I just stayed back there in the little bucket. And I don't know what she did, but I threw one leg over and was about to get in, and she hit the throttle and about flew out the back of the thing. But
you had legs up having a baby.
Yeah, Ryan Rader, that was a real pleasure. Should have got a photo. We'd have put it on the page. Good stuff. It was a little sweaty, so back of Blair's shirt was probably. He does not want to see another hot dog. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. That's kind of all I had tonight.
We're sorry, everybody. We were dragging ass. It's been, I was trying to keep my eyes open at work today. We were busy and it just smoking hot in there. I was like, dude, I'm going to die doing this schedule. But it was fun. It's worth it. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't manhandling the wheel or anything, but I was, thankfully the wife let me sleep in an hour. Our little girl loves to wake up at 5:30, 6 a.m. on the dot every morning. And when you get home when you get to bed at 1:30, that's a little rough. So I got to sleep in until about 7:30. So it was amazing. Thank you to my wife. And yesterday went by quick and back to the grind today, but that's part of it. And thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you, Blair and Tara and Tom for letting me tag along.
No, we're glad you came. You know what's funny too is the whole world, they think like when we got back to the hotel room, if we won't get into it, but just the news was going off with Iran and all this shit. We had no idea. We're out at the track. Phones are in the toolbox. It's like, talk about peaceful. It's chaos out there, but it's like the whole world's tuned out. I didn't hear one person say a word about it. We get back to the hotel, you would think we just got bombed here.
Right.
I'm like, dude.
I have a funny story about that too, because same scenario. Like we're not on our phones. We're dialed into the racing and talking nothing but racing. But I just woken up Sunday morning and my wife goes, we're at war? I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, we bombed Iran. I was like, that doesn't mean we're at war. We just sent a message. Like both countries have to agree like, hey, we're at war before you go into war. So kind of a funny story, but I don't watch the news in general just because it's really nothing good. I like the feel good stories, kind of like what I was talking about with Clyde. Like those are the kind of articles and news stuff that I like to watch. But if you turn on any of the major deals, like I'll watch like 9 News Sports, just catch up on high school football or whatever when it's in season. But I try not to watch it. Well, and same funny thing too. Well, before we get off is we ended up getting a hotel room. I was going to try to drive home. It got too late and I was like, I'm absolutely smoked. Did you shower? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to. We were all filthy. So, in fact, I told Tara, hurry up, get in the shower because I'm smoked. So, we go to this hotel, and of course, I didn't book one. We're not going to stay. I'm going to drive home, right? I'm going to get home. And then I was like, it'll be about 3:45 in the morning. And I've already been doing, trying to get everything ready and working for 4 days just till late in the night. And so anyway, of course, I said, hotel rooms are only $120. There won't be anything going on here. Yeah, that's cheap. Special. Yeah, well, that's not what it turned out to be. Oh, boy. So we get to the hotel, and they're like, there's one room left, and it's a king suite with a pull-out. And I looked at Tom, and I'm like, Tara's going to want to sleep on the bed. So poor Tom had to sleep. But anyway, there's 2 TVs in this room. It's a nice-ass room. Yeah, it's a nice-ass room.
So there's 2 TVs and they're on opposite walls, and it's the last time I told you I looked at the clock before we went to sleep, it's 2:45 in the morning. Well, I'm trying to turn off my TV. Well, then Tom's turns on and the volume's cranked, and then I finally get his to switch off and mine comes back on, and it's just bombs going off and replays of basketball games, and the channels are flipping. I thought, holy shit, this is 2:45 in the morning. I don't need to deal with this shit. Finally, I held the remote under my arm and like tried to shield the laser. So I finally got them both cut off, and it's like, oh, so then at 2:45, 7 o'clock rolls around and I'm up and we're on the road again. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, I will say
chaos.
When I travel to my project, same thing. I was, just with our company, we get the, whatever you want to call it, King Suite with the 2 TVs. And I do the podcast from the little work desk with the TV right above me. And I swear, same thing. I'll turn it off, and then the damn one above the bed goes on. I'm like, who wired this? Like, why can't we program? Yeah. Anyway, but good stuff. But yeah, glad.
Family Feud. I couldn't tune it out. That's finally what I ended up on it. It's 2:30, and I'm like, Steve Harvey, just shut the fuck up.
Them bright white teeth, man. That's good stuff. I will say, last comment on the ride home, other than the bumpy ass ride on 76, when I got back to 25, I don't know, what's the Broncos stadium called? Mile High at Empower Field nowadays. That was lit up. I think there was something going on. There was more traffic at 1 a.m. on that stretch of highway all the way home on I-25 than I probably see going to work in the morning. And I work right next to Coors Field. Like, I was like, what are you guys doing? It's 1:30 in the morning. But I think there was because there was like a line of traffic by like Meow Wolf and stuff like that. But yeah, I was not expecting that. So it was like, I'm tired, dragging ass. I'm like, I don't want to be defensive driving right now. Like, just let me get home. But anyway, they made it. So.
Side note before we go, Mike Duran commented, I don't know if you saw, I'll have to send you these pictures. You remember that cross cart I drove at PPR, and then we went out and did some filming. I was kind of the back guy.
You invited me, and then you never invited me back.
Yeah, we'll have to get some pictures. He went out and raced it in California, and he's got some good pictures of that thing upside down and airborne. And so, yeah, well, remind me, and set a reminder, something, we'll show some of those pictures. But it looks like it's, frame's okay, but I was going to tell him he's got to get a full containment seat in that thing because it looked like it was pretty violent. But I finally tested that thing out. I was like, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Yeah.
But, I asked him if he was okay. I know he was hurting, but all the way from California, and then had to drive home after wadding that thing up. So he finally did it.
I'm over here complaining about going to Fort Morgan, and he has to drive back from California.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it for tonight. So I'm not sure. We don't have any guests lined up for next week as of yet.
But got some ideas.
Yeah, stay tuned to the page. Did want to shout it out again. Our Instagram page is up and running. We've been trying to go through, everybody in the racing community. They had a concert. Thank you, Clyde. But yeah, Instagram page, Throwin Sliders Podcast, no spaces, no underscores, anything like that. Go give us a follow. We'll follow you back. Trying to build that up. We finally got it linked to our Facebook page, and thanks to Tara for the help with that. Technology sometimes I do okay, but when you all these social media platforms, Blair just sits back in the text chat and is like, "Hey, good work, team."
I'm like, I don't know how I got that old that fast. I used to, because that's like what I do with my parents. I'm like, you guys are idiots, And now I'm like, oh shit, I'm an idiot. It's weird.
No, it's there's a lot of hoops to jump through to get everything to talk to each other. But anyway, go give us a follow on Instagram. We'll follow you back. Try to build up that page as well. And I haven't looked at our YouTube subscriptions, followers.
We need to go subscribe on YouTube, even if you don't watch there normally. But we had to restart that one. Brandon got that going again, so it wiped out all the followers, everything there. But we'll build that up too. Obviously, if you watch live, this is probably the best place to do it on Facebook, just because we can see the comments, and we don't have a team to monitor everything. So that's
well, and if you're watching on YouTube, we'll be able to see it in the comments. Obviously, everybody tonight's joining us via Facebook, but we will see the little red play button, the logo for YouTube, and then you can comment on there on the live video as well. So whatever your preference is, but we appreciate if you go subscribe there. And Mike's doing a little better, a little slower. Right. Yeah, good to hear. But what else was I going to say on that note? I can't remember. Just went through my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So I'm not sure what Facebook did. Blair and I noticed the other day after we got done with the show, they used to just have the episodes that we just did live right there. But I figured it out, Blair. I forgot to tell you. If you click on the, it's like a little calendar invite that shows up on our page. If you click that, that's where the video is. And you can go rewatch us. So not sure why they did that. It used to just kind of be a video, a normal video that you could click on, but now you got to click on the actual like calendar invite thing that says whatever the date is, like a calendar icon, and then it'll give the title of it. You click on that and the video will be in there. So in case anybody was wondering, but yeah, so three platforms we're on now: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Please go follow us,
Spotify,
subscribe.
all those.
Well, yeah, Spotify, obviously. And we do have the comments and ability to rate us on Spotify. So we appreciate, any comments you guys have, 5-star reviews. We got a couple on there. So we appreciate that. But yeah, keep it humming. And again, thanks to you guys, Mountain Ops is on board. You guys are the reason why we get to do this every week. Because if, like I've said it a million times, if not, Blair and I would just be talking racing to each other. So we appreciate all the engagement. Keep that up. Yeah. Without seeing our ugly mugs, but yeah, appreciate the interaction, engagement. Keep that up. And we'll end the night by saying again, go subscribe and follow, like, whatever it is, all of our media platforms. And then go check out mountainops.com. Again, 20% off using the code TS podcast. So obviously, things are expensive in the world, so it's just a little token of appreciation for you guys by being listeners and viewers to the show. So 20% off using that code. And with that, hope everybody has a great week. It's going to be a little bit cooler the middle of the week and then get back up into the triple digits, it looks like, this weekend. So stay hydrated. Yeah, get you some hydration packets from Mountain Ops. And we're true believers because it works.
Austin, I don't know if they tagged him or not, but how you healing up there, bud?
Yeah. Well, we got a hat waiting for you. It's right over there. Got a pink one, Pit Lizard Posse, for you. Yeah, let's say how you doing after that massive impact, Austin? We'll wait for his comment because I do want to know.
Yeah, I'll be giving you a call this week or something. But that was a gnarly one. Can you throw that up there? Does it play before we end the show, or is that too much?
Yeah, no.
We might as well. All right, so while we're waiting before we end the show, we'll get Austin in a big one.
I don't know. I'll have to figure out the sound.
That's all right if no sound even.
Well, because when I share the whole screen, that's when it scroll down here. There it is. Pull it up.
Nobody must have tagged him. Shame on you guys.
We were
talking about you, Austin. But that was
I want to go full screen. All right. Let me share screen here. So yeah, for those that don't know, this is the wreck ASCS down in Arkansas that we were talking about with. There he is. Really sore on my neck and shoulders and my knees, but other than that, I'm ready to go again. Man, you are.
Every bone in my body hurts, but other than that, I'm 100%.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's about sprint car guys aren't the smartest,
I mean, but that was. But yeah, let me see if I can get the sound to work. I know I can share the video.
Glad you're all right, buddy.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good. Let me know if you can hear it, Blair.
Brady Baker, third place, trying to hold off a challenge from Jason Martin, trying to get himself on the podium. Oh, in the off the track goes Bergman. Austin Gussel has crashed in turn 1. And a 67 has crashed. And the 23 has crashed on the other end of the racetrack. So we got action on both ends of the raceway. Austin Gussel is getting out of his car.
Oh, yeah.
So a replay of what happened to the leader here on our broadcast. He's coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, he did get all 4 off the ground.
Right in the back of the 67. Oh, my.
When the announcer's speechless.
Yeah, you're holding your breath.
Yeah, I noticed 1 and 2 was getting really far up there, and I about hit the wall probably every time I went down the backstretch. And I just kind of followed the lap cars. They were running right through the middle and pulling away from me. So then I went down and found it. I was just really good over there. I didn't really have to – we didn't even do much to the car tonight. I mean, it was on rails, obviously, but I don't even know what you could do there.
Me neither.
Crazy, man.
Shit.
Yeah, and I was telling Blair when we were watching that in the pre-show. I mean, not being able to see, I guess, what happened to that slower car or the car that broke, or understanding the situation, appreciated, and kudos to Austin. He could have said some different things there, but he didn't, and he kept his composure and professionalism. So shout out there. I would have been probably a little more vocal there, but
well, anyway. You know what's crazy too is it's so funny to see the dynamic, because obviously his dad Brian was racing with us. He wasn't out there, and he'd heard about that right before he got in the car to go, hey man, I mean, talk about having to clear the mechanism, you know, and all black car on the black track, didn't even have time to lift. Yeah, obviously in the closing rate on somebody that's either having problems or whatever. That's
sure. To your point, Brian had just found out about that right before the feature, and he actually told us after the race, he's like, I had to quickly strap in and like clear my head of that. And then obviously there was some emotion there, understandably so, watching that video, and it's your son after the race and after we told him congrats. But glad you're okay, Austin. That's scary to see, but hopefully you're put that thing back together.
Giving him hell. Man, that's good. He's fast. He was kicking their ass looking at that video. He was way out.
Absolutely.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Scary stuff, but glad you're all right, buddy, and hopefully we don't see that again, anybody. But anyway, you cart guys.
Whatever.
Oh man. But anyway, we'll keep it tuned into our Facebook page. We'll announce the next episode, and if we get a guest on, and we'll see you guys all back next Monday. What is Monday's date? Is July yet? No, 30th.
Close.
1 day shy. Yep. So crazy, June's already gone. But keep it posted right here. We appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, all the interaction, and keep it real. And if you're racing this weekend, good luck to you. Keep it rubber side down, and till next time.
Oh yeah, Sammy.
Keep throwing those sliders. See you.
Peace.
There we go. This was another production of Scrubbin' Tires Media. The Throwin Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio was created by Bryce Holcomb. Please like, share, and leave a 5-star review. And as always, keep throwing those sliders.